Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, a part of the podcast playground. We ask you to, go wherever you get your favorite podcast, which is this one, I know. And what we want you to do is give a 5-star review and also give us that little review, 5 stars, and subscribe to us or follow us, whatever you do on your particular podcast platform. Then share with all your friends, all your neighbors, even the people you hate. Make sure they get a copy of it too. And welcome to episode 101 with no Dalmatians.
No Dalmatians. No, plenty. Yeah. Lots of small puppies running around. How are you? Are you still safe and dry? Because let's just tell the folks as we record this, it's Monday morning. And as we record this on this particular Monday morning, Monday, August the 5th, the tropical storm or hurricane? I'm not sure which one.
I think it hit hurricane status just as it was coming on land.
I think you're right. Debbie is coming ashore in the right in the Big Bend area of Florida. That's where it kind of curves from going north to west there. And yours truly here in Gainesville, it's been raining hard for about 14 hours now. It's been hard. So are you getting through down there in Claremont?
We have both lived in Southwest Florida.
Yes.
Pretty dang on close to the Gulf of Mexico right there.
Yes.
So we're I don't want to say we're used to hurricanes, because the last hurricane that hit, Fort Myers Beach and the Fort Myers, Southwest Florida area, we weren't really used to those.
That was a big one.
Yeah. But as far as hurricanes, we're I don't want to say I'm Jim Cantu or anything like that. But we've been through our share of hurricanes and tropical storms. And now that I'm in Central Florida,
right.
If we're in Fort Myers and we believe that we're going to get hit with a hurricane,
right,
we're probably going to, go inland, and we're going to go to somewhere like where I am now.
Right.
So here it's been raining since yesterday, stops a few times, starts again. Then we get what they call the outer bands, and we get a little wind, and we get.
Right.
Now I will tell you a little story. You and I we're a little older now. We don't do wild, crazy things like we used to do.
Right.
So my daughter stops by to get her dog last night, which we were babysitting for the weekend, because this will be her last weekend before she has to go back to her work, which is
back to school. Yes.
Yeah. So she was, kind of like her last hurrah weekend to, kick back. Well, every weekend's you can kick back and do whatever you want to, because she only works 5 days a week being a teacher.
Right.
But it was kind of like her last weekend of
sure
non-teacher. So they really, did things that, they wanted to get out and do some things.
Sure.
So last night, Hunter Hayes was at SeaWorld, and during the summer they do have indoor concerts. So that's good. So they went to see Hunter Hayes, and while the hurricane or tropical storm or whatever kind of winds and rains we were getting in the Orlando area, they decided to go on one of the new fast roller coasters there at SeaWorld. And they were saying, it didn't bother them that much, but they said the rain was like needles going in their faces.
Why would you volunteer for that? That doesn't sound like fun.
Now, come on. Let's say you're in your young 30s.
All right. You might try something stupid.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe she said, I don't know. Her brother. Oh, I don't. My kids are getting old. I think.
What's up with that?
She's still in her 30s, but I don't know if they're the young 30s anymore.
All right, Grandpa, you got to figure that out. I hear you.
Yeah, now they went on the roller coaster, and they said it was fun except for the rain, which felt like their face was getting hit by needles.
Okay.
I'm going, well, stupid you.
Yeah. That doesn't That's on you. That's totally on you. Yeah, so I get it. Now, you mentioned, of course, our old neighborhood down there, Southwest Florida. And again, I don't remember who told me. Our old friend Vicky Wagner, whose son lives in Naples still, told me that they were getting some pretty heavy rains and that I should check, online. And I went to TV20. Our old friends at TV20 there
And
had their
you saw
video.
Fort Myers Beach.
And again, Fort Myers Beach with about 2 foot of water over Estero Boulevard there. And I'm like, San Carlos Boulevard, Estero Boulevard. And I'm like, wow, as if they didn't have enough trouble there. Well, there's not much more, there's not much left to damage. And I guess if there's any new construction, it's probably on stilts. So it's probably up a little bit. So hopefully, knock on wood, that's me knocking on my wooden desk. Hopefully not a lot of damage on Fort Myers Beach. But again, they got it again. It's like, oh my goodness. So yeah, terrible.
That's pretty crazy.
It really was. So anyway.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I saw a video and I'm going, well, actually, my wife was the first to find it and see it. And I'm going, oh my goodness, those poor people just can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break. In the sucks to be you, but it's really, you can't really complain department. Last night, where I live, my apartment, it's surrounded by woods. It's nice. It's lots of trees and grass and bushes and woods and all that stuff. So I like it. And when the rains come, the little tree frogs come out. The little chirping, burping, I think they're little tree frogs. I don't know what the heck they are because you never see them. You just hear them by the bunch. And it literally rained all night. And literally those little tree frogs were going off all night. And it's not like a pattern. It's not cute. It doesn't put you to sleep. It's like, well, you guys shut the hell up. I couldn't get to sleep. So yours truly, technology always wins, dug out my little, and I'm holding them up, my little Apple earpods with the noise cancellation, stuck them in my ears, turned down the noise cancellation, and played a little really soft, relaxing meditation music. And it no more tree frogs. I'm like, haha, tree frogs, I got you. So I got a little bit of sleep, and they're still, no, I don't hear them now. Okay, so yeah, morning comes, and of course they're probably done for the day.
They don't like daylight. They don't like
daylight. No,
and because I don't feel sorry at all for you, Bill Stevens. Let me just tell you, we live on a lake here.
Yes.
And so beginning about 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30 at night.
Right.
It's not like even a ribbit. I don't know how to explain the sound.
It's a weird sound. It's like a clicking, a loud click, click, click sound. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see.
Did you record him?
My wife did the other night.
That's funny.
And she has a picture of one.
Yeah. My apartment doesn't face it, but our apartments are kind of like built around this big open clearing space, which in the dry season is just more grass and some trees and some shrubs and stuff. But all of the drainage pipes from the parking lots empty into it. So I'm guessing that I have a lake in my backyard today as well. Cause that's what it's made for. It's a drainage pond. So I haven't looked yet, but I'm going to go back there and take a look, and I'll bet you there's 2 or 3 feet of water in there all the way across now, this big pond.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the little frogs were going crazy last night. They really were. And if I hadn't have thought of my little ear pods, I would have been awake all night. I'm sure the neighbors, I'm sure nobody's happy today. Nobody,
Well, my wife goes out.
If we had school. Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if we had school in Alachua County today or not. I don't know that. Keep talking and I'll look it up.
Well, schools have not started yet, as far as I know. At least they haven't either in Polk County or the county I'm in, which is Lake County. My daughter teaches in Polk County. She just had to report on Friday. Students still have like about another week to frolic.
We actually, and I'm on the Alachua, because Gainesville is Alachua County in Florida. I am on their email text message list, of course, and they actually had some evacuations ordered yesterday, which kind of weird. I don't know why, but Well, I guess if you're in like a lame mobile home or something, yeah, that's because as we know, hurricanes and tornadoes, they aim for mobile homes. So
Yep.
yeah, I guess so. So all right, there we go.
How do
Hurricane
I?
Debbie made landfall and moving north. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm going to see
All
if I
right.
can. I'm
Total
going to see.
cumulative rainfall between 6 and 8 inches in Alachua County. Yikes.
Yeah, it's definitely doing some raining out there.
There you go. All
Oh,
right. So there's the weather report.
You know what?
I knew I was okay. I knew I was okay because when I got up before we started recording the podcast, I took my coffee. I walked out onto the porch. I did not see Jim Cantor, so I knew I was probably safe.
Yeah, he was up in the Big Bend area. I don't even know if he was out. Yeah. I didn't see. Because I don't know what it is about us Floridians, and I think people even in other parts of the country, when the hurricanes come, we like to turn on the Weather Channel and see where Jim Cantor is. And I don't even think I saw him. It's like
a game.
Yeah, because we were watching it quite a bit the other night, and I don't think we saw him.
Yeah, it's kind of a small. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a minor league storm because it's a hurricane and it's a big deal no matter what. But it's not like it was a huge deal kind of a thing. So, I heard that. I heard a little chirp there. Yeah, if you can hear that, folks, that's what it is. That's we can barely hear you there, but yeah, it's there. Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
Okay, that's done now.
Yeah, we definitely got a few chirps there, and imagine that times 1,000,
and then all night long,
loud, right outside the bedroom window. That's what we were both experiencing last night. So
Bill, I'm sorry, but here where we live, we've been experiencing that for the last 2 weeks.
Wow. I mean, I'll hear them a little bit at night, but then they're usually going to bed about the same time I am. So, but as the sun goes down and if there's a little bit of rain, because that's kind of the way it works. In Florida, you get rain around sunset. Yeah, you get a little chirping here and there, and then they're done. But last night, all night, partying all night. What am I saying? But so anyway, there you go, Mother Nature. Huh?
For our dogs, we have what you call like one of those floodlights. That's it's like almost looks like a megaphone,
right?
But it's like a high beam light,
right?
So when the dog's in the backyard, a lot of times I'll go out with that so I can kind of follow the dog around where it is.
Right.
Well, those things start chirping out in the lake. And so I go, what the hell is this? So I start shining it out on the lake and they shut up as soon as I shine the light on the lake.
Oh.
Of course, as soon as I come back in and close the door,
they're going crazy again. Yeah.
But when they first see that light, they go, oh, be quiet. Someone's daytime. Yes, someone's coming. Little bastards.
So there you go, folks. There's we just experienced a hurricane. What are we complaining about? Frogs. It's very biblical. It's kind of like a plague of locusts and frogs. All right.
And of course, and people riding on roller coasters.
And roller coasters, because it's Florida, of course. Because roller coaster.
my daughter though has done that quite. I hate to admit it, but even we have.
What's that?
Like when you have a hurricane either coming or one that just came, because a lot of times after because this one's a slow moving one,
right.
Debbie, which is,
right.
Little Debbie's. Oh, those are so good.
Little Debbie. Yeah. She didn't bring any chocolate cakes to my house.
Yeah. She didn't in my house either. But we went to the parks like right after or right before hurricane and nobody's there. So it's kind of cool.
That's true. Nobody's ever there. Yeah. So
but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at the people that are there. But as far as
those are like the guys that go out surfing as the hurricane is coming ashore. I'm like, really, guys? Of course, in Fort Myers, that's about the only time you get any waves. But yeah. So, and I did that. I remember that when I don't know if it was my first hurricane, but it was Charlie, very famous hurricane in Southwest Florida, Charlie. And I remember I went outside. I stood outside in my carport just to kind of see and feel what it was like with the first hurricane. And thankfully it was blowing like from the back of the house to the front of the house, so it wasn't, hitting me right in the face. But it was impressive. It was like, you got to do that once, I guess, when you're a young and stupid and living in Florida for the first time, your first hurricane. So there you go.
Oh, I remember my first hurricane, though. I was scared. Can I say that on this podcast? Shitless.
Well, you could. Yeah, you were scared. Yeah, I hear it. Was it Charlie?
No. I've been there for 40. I was there for 40 years. Charlie was not the first. I forget what the first. I forget.
So was I, but I don't remember anything before Charlie.
You don't?
I'll have to look that up now. Well, all right. You're gonna play Memory Jeopardy with me.
Well, I don't know what
I'm
the name of the storm is, but I remember one of the first storms. That I remember being in Fort Myers. I was at Malibu Apartments. And that was out on off of Cypress Lake Drive.
Right.
And, we have this hurricane coming or this tropical storm or whatever.
Right.
And of course, we were in the radio business, which meant it don't care what happens. You're come on the radio. Do your radio shift.
You are on the radio. Yes.
I go out to I think I had a pickup truck. I really do. I think I had a pickup truck at that time. I go out and get in my pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
And it was up to the doors deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, oh my God, we're all going to die. But being young, stupid, and a team player at the radio station.
A radio guy. That's right.
I got in that little pickup truck. I drove all the way to Wink FM.
Yes.
Where I reported to everyone the weather that was out there.
As if they didn't already know what was going on just by looking outside.
Nowadays, at least I like this, but of course we don't. Well, in our latter days, they did it.
What?
You have a hurricane coming, flip this button right here. And, depending on what radio station you were working at during the particular hurricane, right, you always made a deal with one of the television stations.
Right.
So you'd flip that on, you'd flip the button, and you'd say, okay, the hurricane's coming.
Right.
Channel 2, channel 5, channel, 7.
Right.
Fox, whoever it was, they will take you the rest of the way through the storm.
Which was lame, kind of lame. When that did that not start with 9/11? You and I were on the air.
Well, I know
9/11.
I think,
and then by the time it got rolling, by the time we figured out what was happening, we had brought a TV into the studio and we were broadcasting the television station. And then they finally said, okay, let's make it official. You can do that. And we broadcasted the television audio.
And I do remember this also doing that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I remember right after 9/11, there was then a rule, at least at all the Clear Channel stations, because before iHeartRadio, it was called Clear Channel.
Right.
That every studio was required to have a TV inside it with the news on up in the corner. I mean, you didn't have the sound on or anything, but the news was up in the corner. So if there was a emergent, because we're sitting there playing, hey, be the 10th caller and you can win tickets to Jungle Larry's,
while the world is falling apart around us, we're out there playing happy music. Yeah, I get it.
So that was a new rule that was instituted after 9/11, that all studios would have TVs in the corner. So if there was a breaking news story, instead of giving caller number 10 prizes on the air, you'd be going, oh my God, such and such has happened.
Right. And I remember that. You're right. I remember when we had the television put in the studio, and that was a very good thing. That was a very good, because that way yours truly, who was doing the news, could have one eye on the TV for the top of the hour newscast, because, they were getting news. I mean, they're a TV network. They were getting more stuff than I would ever get. So yes, that was a good thing. That was a good thing for news coverage. And like you said, making sure you're not doing stupid stuff when important things are happening. So
and then of course, like I said, that's when, of course, too, everybody made kind of like a little deal with the local TV stations. But I thought that was mostly because of hurricanes, that, once we go into hurricane mode,
Right.
then instead of, all the radio people and all the television people all out ready to die, let's just let the TV people
Just let the TV
take all
people
the
do it.
chances, and the radio people can keep their asses home.
That's funny. That's now just to put a cherry on top of all of this. The funny thing, not funny, the cute little thing is I was down in Sarasota and Venice for a couple of days this week for some computer clients, and I stayed with a friend, and we wanted to go, and they wanted to go see a movie, so we went to see Twisters. And I got to say, cute movie. I mean, if you haven't seen it, and I say cute because it's like, it's not any giant earth-changing, huge Star Wars, Star Trek horror. I mean, it's just a good movie. I mean, boy meets girl, and they're on opposite teams of storm chasers. So there's a tiny bit of romance. There's zero. I don't even think there's one kiss in the whole movie. I don't, nothing. But it was just a good movie. That's all I'm going to say. It was fun to watch and a good story. So Twisters, there's my 2-second review.
Let's work on your let's work on your memory if we can.
Oh God, you're way better with this than I am.
Did you see by any chance the first Twister, which also became an attraction at Universal Studios?
I remember going to the attraction at Universal more than I remember the movie. And funny you mentioned that though, because I do remember walking out of Twisters and saying, it's too bad they couldn't have gotten Helen Hunt for like a little bit part somewhere. And they didn't. And I'm like, I wonder what she's doing these days. And she's still around. So, but they didn't. So anyway.
Did any cows fly?
No, no, pickup trucks flew.
But no cows, huh?
I don't think any, because that was on the ride. When you went to Universal Studios,
that was in the original movie too.
The cow flew, yes, I know. But the cow flew by the barn that you were in the barn. I remember that very well. I do. And I don't know that I ever sat through. I know I did not see it in the movie theaters. So maybe, on Netflix or something like that, I saw Twister the first time, but I couldn't tell you. It's been a long time.
So I just wondered how close they were possibly, or if they were complete two different plot lines and everything.
I don't even remember the plot of the first one. I mean, they were storm chasers too.
It was a tornado. That was the plot.
Yeah, they were storm chasers too, right? But in this one, the young lady, of course, the Helen Hunt part was some little girl who was from Kansas or Nebraska or wherever, Oklahoma. They were in Oklahoma because they were at a rodeo. And she went off to New York to go to school and to whatever, and then came back and kind of had this theory about how you could make a twister stop, how you could stop it in mid twisting. And so, I won't ruin the plot for you, but yeah, it was kind of a redemption story for her, and the guy was good, and all of that stuff. So yeah, it was a good movie. Nothing amazing, probably won't win any award, of course, for special effects, which were of course perfect. But other than that, just a good movie, just a good, fun movie.
Was it your electric car friend you saw?
Yes. She was one of the clients I visited. Yes.
How was the car?
Electric car? The electric car was good. Yes. I told her all about my friend. Well, she knows you. I told her all about my friend BJ Odom, who was like interested in the Disney edition. And she went, wait, what? Disney? And I'm like, yeah. And so I pulled up the pictures on the internet, and I said, look, it's got the little purpley Disney lights in the front, and it's got the Disney stitching on it. And she's like, oh, how much? And I'm like, yeah, it's good luck finding one, So anyway, she's enjoying and loving her electric car and is looking forward to, she went all in. She has the electric charger in her garage, so I'm probably guessing she's an electric car person for life at this point, which, cool. Good for you.
Well, how far are we from a break here?
About 5 minutes.
Okay. Cause Because I have, as we're discussing these electric cars, I came up with a little new information. And
Oh,
I thought about this in the back of my mind, and I hate to say it out loud because me saying it out loud is just going to make more people know about this and more people say, "Hey, what's up here?"
is it, you mean like you don't want somebody buying the car that you wanted to buy? Is that what you're saying?
Got nothing to do with anyone going out and buying a car.
Oh,
It's about those with electric cars. Let's just say New Jersey. Well,
New
first,
Jersey.
let me tell you what I thought the dilemma. Well, let's just get into it.
All right, you could start. We can break when we have to.
I drive a gas car.
Yes, I do.
I
too.
go
Most
to
people
the
do.
I go to the gas station.
Most people do.
I put gas in my car.
There you go.
It is so much a gallon.
Yes, it is.
And I don't know, most people probably do realize this, but many people may not even realize this. When you're paying that, it's around $3.34 here in Florida, here in our neck of the woods right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you're paying that $3.34,
yes,
probably 60 cents of that is going to a road tax for the roads to be maintained.
yes, a lot of it is taxes. Yes,
You drive an electric car.
yes.
You plug in your electric car at home.
Uh-oh. I see where this is going. Keep going.
Okay, as long as you know where it's going, I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want people to go, he's right. We need to do something to these people.
They're driving on our roads that I'm paying for, and they ain't paying the gas tax.
So now there are some states that have you pay a yearly tax, like your license plate.
Right.
But the license plate's a little more.
So it covers the road. I mean, that's not stupid. I mean, all taxes are stupid. Let's face it. All taxes are awful. But that's not I don't know what the right word is. That's not, that doesn't sound terribly unfair. That sounds kind of fair. Because if you're going to be driving your electric car and not paying the tax on the gas to keep the roads in good shape, really, they're in good shape, to keep the roads in any kind of shape. And good God, if you're talking about New Jersey, I'm sure it's, well, never mind.
That's just one of the states that have inflicted this new law.
And it's like a virus. When somebody thinks of one way to extract more money from taxpayers, it spreads quickly across the country. No mask will help. It will spread. So I get it. I kind of do. I get it.
Here's my dilemma with it.
Okay, go ahead.
Like I said, it's fair.
Sure.
But I don't think it should be like what I'm hearing. You're paying X amount of dollars every year for like the license plate or the permit to drive it or whatever, whatever the damn tax is. That's, however they're putting it.
Sure.
But it sounds like it's a flat tax.
Well, it would be
for everyone.
It would be difficult to figure out otherwise. So I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it's just a number. It's just another $100 or $1,000, whatever the number is. It's a number. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, if you drive a car, if you don't drive that many miles, obviously your tax is lower than the person who drives all day into the night.
I see where you're going with this. Keep going.
So I'm saying that the fairness to the person who owns the particular vehicle,
right?
That's part of it is not fair. But like you said, unless every year you had to, prove your mileage and take in, well, here's,
they would, that would set up a whole, not that a state would not want to set up a whole nother bureaucracy, because that's what they do. Yeah. But you're right. So if you drive an electric car, it's, I don't know, pick a number, $500 a year, whether you drive 100 miles or 100,000 miles. I get it. As opposed to us people who drive a gas car, us old retired guys living in our little villages in Claremont, if we only drive 100 miles a week or whatever, oh, now you can really screw them up. Get a hybrid. Get a hybrid. Really screw them up. I'm paying gas tax. Sure. The 2 gallons a week that I put into the car. Yeah. I love that. I love that.
It just makes my dilemma even more of a dilemma.
Oh, it does? It does?
I'm in a pickle in this whole thing.
Oh,
you can talk to me one day.
You know you want it.
Well, listen to this, though. You can talk to me one day, and I'm 100% saying this is the one I'm going for, and this is the one I want, so this is what I'm doing.
Yes.
You talk to me 2 days later, I'm worse than a woman. I shouldn't say that. That's not nice.
Yeah, with a car, you are.
Yeah, but
you're already in trouble, so it's okay.
No, this is the one I want. I don't want that one because of these reasons. And then, of course, like an idiot, I watch more. Somebody should just take YouTube and just burn the damn thing. Because I will watch.
So you've been watching electric car reviews on YouTube?
I've been watching hybrid reviews. I've been watching plug-in hybrid reviews. I'll bet you you know what? Now when I open my Google account, I'll just do it right now. Here, I'll open my Google, to just kind of look, okay? Why is that in there? I have no idea. Oh, no, now I understand it. First, it was a Sam's Club, and I go, well, I haven't talked about Sam's Club. Sam's Club save when you buy your next car. Okay, here's one. 10 thoughts about the future of the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. Let's go to the next thing. Oh, that's political. Get rid of that anyway. Buy a car at dealer cost. Next one, 2024 Toyota RAV4 Prime versus Prism Prime. Next one, here's the upcoming electric cars for 2024, 2025. Oh, there's something about the hurricane. That's tropical storm.
Oh, well, a little real news.
How did that get in there?
How did that get there? A little bit of real news breaks through the advertising. I get it. And I've said that in the past too. And I've done that. I occasionally put out a YouTube video to teach old folks like you and me how to use their iPhones and stuff. And I've talked about that. It's like, if I click on an ad on Facebook today for pickleball shoes, for sneakers, I'm playing pickleball, I'm going to see shoe ads all day. That's all I'm going to see. Oh, he's interested in shoes. Here's some more. Here's some more. Here's some more. I'm like, enough already. So yeah, I get it. So now Mr. Google has seen that BJ has done a search or two for electric cars, hybrid cars, whatever.
Showing everything. Yeah,
that's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to see. Congratulations.
Well, I will admit this was back in the days. And this was we haven't lived in Fort Myers for 6 years, maybe 5-6 years.
Fort Myers?
Yeah. For me.
I haven't been there in 10 years, but I don't know about you.
I think it's been like 5 or 6 for me. So one day the wife and I are driving down the road with our phones somewhere in the car. Not even talking on the phone, not even Googling anything on the phone, driving down the road.
Right.
There is a restaurant that's been there for probably a year.
Right.
But it's, it's like a mom and pop. It's somewhat new. And I forget the name of the restaurant. I'm just going to go blah, 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 blah restaurant. So we drove by and I go, man, we drive by a blah, blah restaurant every day. We need to go to blah, blah restaurant and check it out. I swear to God, I get home. I open Facebook. An ad pops up for blah, blah restaurant. That restaurant has been there for over a year. We have drove by it for over a year. I say it out loud one freaking time, and it's on my Facebook feed as an ad the next time I open my Facebook.
Imagine that. Imagine that your phone might be listening to you. I do not have the Facebook app on my phone. I don't have the TikTok app, and I don't have the Facebook app. If I want to go to Facebook, I can still go to Facebook just on the website, www.facebook.com on my phone through Safari, the browser. But that way it's more or less not tracking me and definitely not listening to me. That's Bill's little tech tip for the day. So
I have my phone in hand.
Yes, you do.
Sexy women. Okay. I'll just wait till I open Facebook next time.
Sexy. You say we just barely heard you say something about good-looking women, though. So all right.
Yeah.
Before BJ Odom totally gets in trouble, he has some tea to get out of the fridge somewhere.
That's right. It's in your freezer.
Yeah, I know. You better go for it because it's going to be frozen solid. So let's take a quick break. BJ will go get his tea. I will refill my coffee, and we will be right back. Welcome back. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast. I'm Bill Stevens. That's BJ Odom. And as always, we invite you to leave that 5-star review for us wherever you get your podcasts. That would be Apple. That would be Spotify. That would be iHeartRadio. That would be YouTube Music. We're on YouTube Music now. I actually subscribe to that. So there you go. And you can find us on Facebook, our Facebook page. Just do a search, BJ and Bill Podcast, and leave your comments, leave your storm pictures, leave whatever you'd like there. So BJ's back from the fridge, got his green tea going. He should be much improved for the second half of the show.
I'll be awake.
You'll be awake.
Wait a minute. What are you looking at me for?
Uh-oh.
Oh, my wife thought I was calling her. Well, I was when I went to get my tea. I said, "Hi, Susan, what are you doing?" But you didn't hear me, and now you come looking for me.
It's all right. It's all right. We've been reporting on the passing of Hurricane Debbie through the northwest part of Florida. It is, as we record this, on Monday, August the 5th, coming ashore. And not super strong, but still hurricane status. So, be careful out there. And BJ and I have been getting some pretty heavy duty rain. We spent the first half hour of the show complaining about tree frogs, and now here we go. So,
the thing about, hurricanes, and this is one of those ones that will be bad for like the areas that it goes through up in, the northern part of the state in Georgia, and probably, even maybe South Carolina, Georgia, all that area, because slow moving. And, sometimes you'll have a storm, like, you can have a storm that goes across the state, like within a couple hours. And then you have another one that could go through the state and it could take like a day and a half. And then you get all that concentration of rain. And that's what's kind of happening with this. It's a slow moving storm. So like a lot of like the the big road in Tampa that goes across to St. Pete.
Oh, well, I've always just known it as it's Route 60, but I forget the name because I lived right there.
Yeah, it was closed.
But yeah, the Dale Mabry Bridge and I forget the other bridge, but yeah, I know they were closed.
Yeah.
Really?
Because one of them was closed because of water on the road.
Yeah.
So they were getting some heavy duty flooding also there in the Tampa Bay area, at least last night and this morning. I don't know how it is now. I haven't turned on the news here because I've been busy making breakfast and getting ready for the podcast.
There you go. Okay. So yeah, just stay safe out there, folks. And no matter where you're at, always be careful, stay safe. We want you here listening to this podcast for years to come.
Yes.
And doing other important things too, of course. But this is the important thing.
I'd like to be here for years to come too.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that.
Now, this is it's good for us to promote our other podcasts every now and again, because you have a new podcast. Is it now up and available for people?
It will be this week. It was going to be last week, but I ended up being out of town for like 2-3 days. So yes, the Practical Path with yours truly and spiritual guru Vicki Wagner is hitting the airwaves. The Practical Path. Look it up. We just talk about life and figuring stuff out and all of that. It's kind of fun. And we have a good time. It's kind of like this podcast. A lot of it's just about our experiences in life and we try and draw some good life lessons from things, and sometimes it works and sometimes it's just funny. So there you go. Yeah. Now, meanwhile, BJ Odom with his podcast, a little more, dare we say, serious.
Yeah, for me, which is a very kind of weird thing to happen.
Right.
But I'm doing a podcast. It's called Gift of Life, the organ transplant podcast, because, I've had the life-saving transplant, kidney, had a heart. That's a real life-saving transplant there.
Kind of important to have a heart. Yeah.
Yeah, you either have that or you're a goner. And we've been talking to so many people. Of course, this is Multi-Ethnic Donor Awareness Month in August. So we have a lot of interviews coming up with some minorities, talking about how important it is, for their background and for their culture to accept organ donation as, it saves lives.
Right.
And then, of course, I have an interview that I did that won't air until September that I'm looking forward to. But, the Olympics going on now, there's also a transplant Olympics, like games, what they call it, the transplant games.
Wow.
And he has participated in them, and he was telling me a little bit about them. And what was really cool, the people that he met along the way.
Right.
And he's only 3 years out himself, but he was happy to tell me, because he was also happy to hear that I'm 21 years out. But while he was, at the games, he met a gentleman that was, 38 years out.
Heart transplant?
With a heart transplant. Yeah.
Wow.
So he said, there's something to,
you need to get that guy on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something. And I think he's going to reach out for me. So that'll help. But, to strive for and to, a goal to reach for. So he said, going to those games, it was kind of cool, to compete, because he was an athlete before his health problems that made him have to have a heart transplant.
Right.
But he said just meeting other transplant patients, hearing stories, and he said it was very motivational for him. So
I'm sure. Yeah, that's
cool.
Awesome. Good to know.
Like I said, he won't be coming up until September, because we're devoting the whole month to multicultural, awareness.
Are there, okay, now don't blame me because I'm stupid about this, and I admit I am stupid about this. Are there special considerations for different ethnic groups when it comes to transplants and that sort of thing?
No, but there is a lot of a lot of blacks that have high blood pressure. Also, they're prevalent to diabetes.
Right.
And a lot of these can cause kidney failure and, the loss of a kidney. So it's, very important for the Black community to know that there's a lot of us that need organs. And also the Spanish community, the Latino community.
Right.
And I didn't realize this till I interviewed someone, that was in tune at the, who is Latino.
Right.
And for a lot of families, death is kind of a taboo thing to even talk about. And so to talk about organ donation was even more taboo kind of for some families.
Oh, I see.
And so, it's like they're trying to make them aware, like, I'm Latino. I needed a kidney. I needed a liver, and it's not a bad thing to talk about, and it helps our people. And, so that's what we'll be talking about a lot through the month of August.
Very good. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know anything about that, and I appreciate you filling me in on that.
And also, I had a very interesting conversation with a Black lady, and she had informed me that sometimes going to the hospital, they can be shunned a little bit, and so there's already those experiences where they're not really fully on board with a lot of the medical community anyway.
I hear you. Yeah.
So, and they're hearing all the things that everyone kind of hears that are, myths. Like, well, I get sick and they take me to the hospital. They're going to say, well, there's a beautiful organ I can, take out of there. Let's just let them die.
Oh boy.
And that myth runs wild in a lot of communities. So.
Your work is cut out for you, BJ Odom. You have a job ahead of you to shed some light on all of this, apparently. So good for you. Good
all
for
right,
you.
and that's what we're going to do in the month of August. Now let's get back to the BJ and Bill, the podcast.
There you go. There you go.
That one's important at the moment, and that's the one you people think important because that's the one you're listening to right now.
Yay!
Thank you.
As well, you should be, doggone it. So there you go.
Yeah, what's really funny, because people ask me, and I know they ask you all the time, oh, you have a podcast?
Yeah.
And what's the typical question?
What's it about?
Yeah, what's it about?
What's it about?
And how do you explain this podcast to anybody? It's like,
usually I will say something like, it's just two old men doing the, hey, you kids, get off my lawn kind of stuff. It's like, yeah.
It's a lot like our old radio show. And if maybe you're new to BJ and Bill, you just found us in the world of podcasting. But yeah, we had a radio show.
Right.
And we went in every morning, and if my wife had a problem, or I had a medical problem, or Bill had a computer client that he had to go see later in the day, or there was a hurricane coming through the area, we talked about everyday life and things going on in our lives.
Yep.
And of course, we talked about the community, although I guess we have the senior citizen community.
Right.
But we don't have, like our community was Southwest Florida, which we were very in touch with. But now we're doing a podcast, which people all across the country are listening to. So it's kind of hard to say, well, in Fort Myers or, in Claremont or Gainesville, but we are in these areas. So we do talk about them.
Yes. But you're right. I mean, people always used to say, oh, you had a radio show. What was that about? What'd you do? Well, I said, well, we play oldies music and we just talked about whatever the heck we wanted to talk about, which was true, which was totally true. We would years and years ago, if you're old enough to remember the Jerry Seinfeld show, he always used to say it's a show about nothing. And that's what our show was. It was nothing, whatever was on our minds that day. That's what we talked about. And that carries over to today. So here we are.
And there's been a lot of radio consultants through the years that told BJ and Bill, oh my God, you can't do what you're doing. But it was successful for so many years. Why can't we? Because I'm a consultant and I say so.
Right. And they were wrong and we were right every time. Every time.
Yeah, because if you look at our ratings at 95.3 WOLZ, off the chart.
Yeah.
Anytime we went to a new radio station who had a consultant who said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Our ratings were nowhere near where they used to be.
Right.
Same audience, same area, same
audience, same neighborhood, same community, same people. We were talking. Yep. So you're on this consultant kick today, BJ Odom. What's up with that?
I just brought it up because all of a sudden we started talking about radio and our old show. And I wanted to say our old show worked. We went to other radio stations with consultants who didn't like the way we did it in the old radio station that made all the money, that had the high ratings. So we had to do what the little consultant said to do. And then when we didn't make the ratings, they go, well, gosh, you aren't as popular here as you were there. There's the door. Well, you didn't let us be who we were there, you stupid idiots. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done now.
I just went off on a little rant there. Yeah. Totally cool. Totally okay. I totally get it because it's true. And it's I think that the bigger lesson there is that the people who are doing the job know what they are doing because they've been doing it for so. There was a great scene in the original Star Trek. I mean, Captain Kirk Star Trek way back there. And at one point, Kirk is like giving orders and on the bridge and all of that stuff. And Dr. McCoy, who was always the voice of reason, leans over to Captain Kirk and he goes, Jim, he says, take it easy. Your people know what they're doing. And I'm like, oh, that's so good. And in business, that's so rare. Your people know what they're doing. But no, we're managers. We have to get in there and manage and run this thing into the ground. So, all right. Congratulations to consultants and managers everywhere. You're all going to be replaced by AI. And I don't think it can happen soon enough. All right, there. Now I got off on a rant. So there you go.
Here's what's really interesting. Because my son did a podcast with, and I forget the name of the famous person. I apologize,
Mm.
but they were talking a little bit about AI because, well, he's a voiceover artist.
Mm.
Well, he's also an actor, but he's also, okay, he was on Family Guy. A lot of people know the
Yeah.
Family Guy show.
Yeah.
And so my son did a little, because he's now in a new movie. I don't know, but my son did a little AI experiment for him and played his character voice from the cartoon and turned it into the new movie he's doing. And it was kind of comical.
Right.
And he got a chuckle out of it. And he said he still doesn't think that AI will really, he thinks AI is a good thing because he does think deep down, yeah, it might take a few voices
Right.
and it might take some voiceover jobs, but he believes it's going to probably cure cancer someday and do a
Probably.
lot of things. AI is going
Sure.
to do a
Sure.
lot of things good that it's worth the direction we're going.
Yes, I agree with all of that. We are at the place now. We are when it comes to AI, we are at the place now that Henry Ford was at when he started building cars. And it's like, oh, look at that. Mr. Ford is cranking out one new Model T every 20 minutes on that assembly line in Michigan somewhere. Good for him. Wow, that's going to change everything. And of course it did. And if you'd have been there then, there's no way you could have seen what was going to happen with cars and trucks and SUVs and motorcycles. There's no way you could imagine what would have the future of that business would be based on, that. And that's just with cars. And cars are it's a very like self-contained. There's not a lot that, you can make a bigger, better car. Yes, faster and, electric or whatever, but it's still doing the same job. We're at the point with AI where it's so still brand new. We don't even know all the things we can do with it yet. And we're just now starting to thrash around with this thing and figure it out. And I think it's going to change so much that we can't even imagine yet. We can't even imagine. I've heard some podcasts and some experts and, interesting stuff. And even they admit, who the hell knows what's going to happen with this in just 5 or 10 years? It's going to be insane. So anyway,
I'll be going into
that's a long way of saying, I think everybody is not misunderstanding, is doesn't have a far enough vision. They just listen now and they go, oh, that voice is pretty good. I can create a Donald Trump or a, Kamala Harris voice with a computer, and it's pretty good. And it can say anything I want it to say. In 5 years, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be indistinguishable from the real thing. And maybe in 5 or 6 years, it's going to be video too. And it's not going to look like something from an animated movie, like a Disney movie. It's going to be perfect. And then what do we do? When you can't tell if that really was the president of the United States saying we're going to war against Mars or whatever? You can't tell. What are we going to do? I'm throwing that out there. I have no answer for that. I'm just wondering. So anyway,
I'm thinking
that's
more
my
about
rant. It's 2 rants for Bill today.
I'm thinking more about me going to Tampa General Hospital,
right?
And waiting in the waiting room, to get my latest checkup.
Mm-hmm.
They go, okay, Dr. AI will see you now.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely,
Dr. AI will look me over, zoom me up, and go,
yep.
Well, I think we need to change this. Tell you what, you just lay back. We're going to put you to sleep for a couple seconds.
Done.
Hey, we just fixed that kidney that was failing on you. It's fine now. You can go home.
Right.
Thanks, Dr. AI.
All of that. Nothing is out of bounds. Nothing is. I'm not even going to use the word impossible because that's a stupid word. It's like, was flying to the moon impossible 100 years ago? Yeah, it was. But guess what? We figured it out. So yeah, when BJ Odom needs his next repair job, whatever it might be. It could very well be some particular part that is made by an AI powered device, installed, configured, put in there, whatever. Yeah. It's all going to happen. It's all going to happen. We're just now at we are like standing on the edge of it, looking out, going, gee, I wonder where that trail leads. It's amazing. I'm impressed and scared at the same time.
I'm going to go full circle on you now here around.
Try me.
We started kind of talking about, the storm, and then we went into electric cars.
Yes.
So on the Ioniq 5, there's this little thing there that's like, it's got metal on it, so you can stick a magnet on it. So I'm watching this video.
Yes.
And a guy who, does a lot of these car videos.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell he's a geek into geeky things like Bill Stevens.
Yes.
So he has one of those printers. What are they called? 3D printers?
3D printer.
And now he makes this thing that sticks on this little piece of metal because the Ioniq 5 does not have like a place up above to put your sunglasses.
Okay.
So it's a little like loop thing that your sunglasses sets on perfectly that he makes with a 3D printer. And anyone who wants one can buy them on his website for $14.99. And that's his little commercial that he does as he does his review of the Ioniq 5.
Costs him 50 cents to make and ship, maybe. Maybe. And if he really, really gets busy with it, he'll have a factory in China build them for him and ship over a warehouse full of them, and he will sell them by the bajillion. So yeah, I love that. I love that people like see a problem, not even a problem. It's like, oh, look, I have this Ioniq. There's nowhere to put my sunglasses. I got to throw them in the glove compartment or fish around for them in a bin somewhere or whatever. Wouldn't it be great if, and that's where it all starts. Wouldn't it be great if this thing did that thing, or this thing, or there was a gadget for this or whatever. And to me, I love that. I love seeing people see a problem and go, I can bitch about this or I can fix it. And golly, if I do, there might be a business there. I might make a few $1 million. How cool would that be?
Oh, that would be really cool. Then I can afford one of the damn cars that I want.
There you go. Absolutely, positively. So yeah, I salute guys. I'll have to look it up. If you see the video again, send me the link and I'll check on it. I love guys that think like that. I love people, men and women, because it's both, that are thinking about, all right, how do we fix this problem and make a little money doing it? Perfect.
Well, it's funny because I did see one other video where the guy said, well, this kind of looks like a little speaker here, but it's not a speaker. It's like a little metal piece with, and so, he said it. And then another guy that was talking, they talked about it. And then he said, oh, by the way, this video being brought to you by my little invention. And then he brought it out and he stuck it on there and he had pictures of other ones, and he goes, so yeah, like you said, it was a genius. Kind of like BJ and Bill, the podcast.
Yes. Genius. It's genius. It's just genius. It is. It's just, and if you believe that one, folks, well, never mind.
Well, the tree's blowing a little bit again.
He's checking.
It goes back and forth. I look out at this tree and, it can be out there, look like there's not even wind at all. And then I look out again and now it's dying down because the branches were going pretty. Now it's just like, it's already went by.
So just to bring folks up to speed as we wrap things up here this week, we've been recording this on the morning that a hurricane has come ashore in the Big Bend area of Northwest Florida. And it's been interesting here in Gainesville and Claremont, Florida. There's been some rain, been some whatever. And our old friends down in Fort Myers got some heavy duty rain as well. We wish you the best, and we send you all the love in the world down there. So I hope things are good and everybody stay safe out there, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I don't got any better answers. There's nothing you're going to do about the weather, but there you go. Unless you're in the movie Twisters and then they try and fix the weather. So there you go. There's my teaser for that movie. So all good.
Yeah, I'll go out and see it this week. I'll wait till
sure.
I'll wait till it's on one of the streaming services.
Right. I'm kind of, yeah. I'm proud to tell you that I've been doing pretty well. I put my YouTube TV on summer vacation, and I'm proud to tell you that I don't miss it. I've been able to catch Fox has a baseball game on Friday night or Saturday night. I forget which one. And then Amazon Prime also has a 1 or 2 baseball games a week, which that's all that's worth watching now. Of course, if you want to watch Olympics, it's on broadcast on NBC. Although I've watched very little Olympics, I have to tell you. Have you watched much of the Olympics?
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Are we just over it? Are we bored with it?
I've always been over it.
Yeah. I
like basketball. Now, okay, we're about out of time.
We are.
But I still have to. I saw a little bit of that 3-on-3 or whatever it's called. It was on CBS the other day.
Big Three.
Boring.
Boring basketball.
Although they do have a 4-point shot too in 3-on-3, which is kind of interesting.
Okay.
But I'm watching it, and I watched it for probably 10 minutes.
Right.
And I'm going, the only thing that maybe makes it exciting if you know the teams.
Right.
And, you got that 4-point shot that a few made, but nobody made it. They tried. It's even got a special circle. It's like, I don't know. I watched it for about 10 minutes and I go,
okay.
Can't wait till the NBA to come back. And I haven't watched any of the basketball on
the Olympics.
So I don't know, but I never know when it's on. So
that's a problem.
Maybe if I knew when it was on, maybe I would say, hey,
well, ask your friendly neighborhood Alexa and see when it's on next.
Yeah, I could do.
Maybe she'll know. That's all I got for you.
I don't even know how we're doing.
I have no idea.
I heard on a radio station, not watching Olympic coverage, but China has. Well, this was yesterday or the day before. China had the most gold, but U.S. had the most overall medals.
I've heard that, but things change day by day, so I don't know where we're at now. All right.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, be safe, stay dry, whatever it takes. We don't care. So, all right. Have yourself a great week, everybody. That's going to do it for us. We will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. But until then, it's just up to BJ Odom to say,
see ya.